Welcome to 1500ESPN.com. Derek Wetmore and Andrew Kramer out here at Winter Park for Vikings practice today. You may have heard by now the big news is the Vikings will be changing quarterbacks again. The press conference today, Leslie Frazier just kind of coyly said, Red Ellison is injured. He probably won't practice today. Matt Asiata is injured. He probably won't practice today. And hey, we're also dealing with an injury at quarterback. Josh Freeman has concussion symptoms, so Christian Ponder will start Sunday. Surprise. It is surprising. I think that most people felt Christian Ponder had played his last game for the Minnesota Vikings, or started for that matter. But that's kind of the big news heading into Green Bay, that Christian Ponder will start a quarterback for him again Sunday, in all likelihood. There's also a couple other injury updates out here at Winter Park. Andrew, you talked to Harrison Smith today. What do we have on the injury front besides Freeman?
Yeah, obviously Harrison Smith's dealing with that turf toe. He said it's just severe. For those who don't know what turf toe is, I'm not even entirely sure. Obviously, I've never suffered through it, but he said it causes severe pain at the ball of his foot, which is where you put all your pressure. And if you're a defensive back and you're backpedaling, you can't really have that. You need to have the pressure on your back foot to be able to back up like that. So he said that's where he said he couldn't even stand with it. So it's one of those things where he says most painful injuries felt on a football field. He had a similar thing in high school, but basically this is where we stand. He's at a 6-week recovery right now. They're going to get him on the practice field after about 5 weeks now, since it happened a week ago. And then they're going to see if he's going to be able to play the rest of the season. But at the 5-week mark, which is going to be right after that Packers Thanksgiving, just before Thanksgiving game, they go to Green Bay on November 24th. He can return Monday the 25th of November, and they'll see if he needs surgery or not. If he needs surgery, he will not play the rest of the season. In all likelihood, if the season's gone at that point, I don't see why they'd rush him back anyway. So if it's on borderline, they might as well just cut him open and let him heal up the rest of the off season anyway. So other injuries though, Matt Asiata is dealing with a shoulder injury. He did not practice. The only halfbacks actually at practice today were Toby Gerhart and Jerome Felton, because Matt Asiata was gone, and then Adrian Peterson was gone for some reason. He had a hamstring injury he was dealing with. Maybe they just gave him the day off. They had day off yesterday, so maybe they just continued that for him. So that was about it for injuries. Rhett Ellison also out today with a knee injury. Rookie linebacker Gerald Hodges actually told me that he's already been told he'll start on special teams, which means maybe one of those guys, either Asiata or Ellison, is already ruled out for Sunday. Okay. They haven't told us that yet, but we'll see.
Heading into Green Bay this weekend, obviously it's a big matchup for the Minnesota Vikings. You also talked with Greg Jennings today, obviously former Packer. He signed with the Vikings this offseason. He wears number 15, and it's just a big matchup, obviously, for Minnesota, not only because it's a division, but it's the cross-state opponent. I mean, that's kind of the big one that Vikings
Border
fans,
battle,
Vikings fans circle on their calendar every year.
Oh, yeah.
What did Greg Jennings have to say about the matchup? I know he was outspoken this preseason about that.
He was outspoken just in general about his relationship with quarterback Aaron Rodgers. At one point, referring to him as 12 or the guy they have over there. He wouldn't even really call him by name. Exactly. He came back today and basically said, listen, if I could take some stuff back, I would, or I would rephrase it differently so it couldn't get taken out of context, as he said. So who knows? But he said basically it's all love between him and his former team. He said even though the Vikings fans hate the Packers, he has no hatred for anybody in that locker room. He spent 7 years over there. He had a child, one of his few children over there, maybe more even, I'm not too sure. But the point being, he spent a lot of his time there. He has a lot of love for former teammates there. Unfortunately, linebacker Desmond Bishop, who was also a former Packer, won't be playing as he tore his ACL against the Carolina Panthers. So the only former Packer playing on Sunday for the Vikings will be Greg Jennings. And basically, like I'd said, Greg said there's no more hate for the Packers.
Now, you can't make some of this quarterback stuff up. It's been a veritable three-ring circus this season, and the latest chapter unfolded today out here at Winter Park. Keep checking back to 1500ESPN.com for all Andrew's great news updates. We're going to do defensive film. Is that right, tomorrow?
We are. That's coming up tomorrow. Check back to 1500ESPN.com and check right now for the offensive film reviews of that terrible game against the Giants. The defense wasn't so bad, so you got a little more reason to come back and read tomorrow.
That's right. The sun will come up tomorrow, Vikings fans. For Andrew Kramer, I'm Derek Wetmore.